Hi and welcome to this quick screencast showing the new fabric8 4.x running locally on minishift. This is an early access demo, so we haven't officially updated our website and getting started guides yet. So for now, just head over to the GitHub repo of fabric8 platform. This new major version ships with single sign-on provided by Keycloak, a hosted IDE with Eclipse Che, work item tracker, and a fancy new developer-friendly UI. On the fabric8 platform GitHub repo, we can see there's an install documentation. So this will tell us how to go from 0 to running fabric8 locally on your laptop. I'm using OS X, so we can use this command. This will download Go Fabricate. Go Fabricate also helps us actually interact with remote OpenShift or Kubernetes clusters in the context of Fabricate. So we've downloaded our Go Fabricate binary, so we're able to run this and execute this. Let's add this to our path. Okay, so we have Go Fabricate. We have GitHub integration now. So when we actually create projects, we can actually push the source code into GitHub, and we can also fire webhooks for Jenkins based on changes being pushed to the repo. Now, there's no automatic way to be able to set up this integration with GitHub. So for now, we have to manually create an OAuth application. So there's some documentation there. We can, if you follow this, we create an application name, give it a homepage URL, but we're going to use fabric8.io's website. For now, we're just going to add in a temporary authorization callback URL. We just need to initially get the client ID and client secret before we actually start Go Fabricate. So now we have our client ID and secret. We can set these to environment variables. And the secret. This means when Go Fabricate starts, we're configured to use a GitHub provider in Keycloak. So next step, you can see from the screencast, we don't have minishift installed. So Go Fabricate start, if no minishift is actually found, or OpenShift, or the OpenShift binary, for example, if these aren't found on the path, this will actually install them and download and install them into your home directory, into your home.fabricate directory. So Go Fabricate start will check if things are able to be run. If not, install them. We're going to install the minishift flavor of this as opposed to minikube. The package system is just a fabric8 4 manifest version. That flag will be removed once we officially release the new version. And we're going to install things into the fabric8 namespace. You can see the Xhive driver, which we recommend using on OS X, is already available, so we're not going to install this. But it recognised that minishift and the OpenShift client binary are missing. So it's going to download them, and then we're able to start them. For the demo purposes, we're going to speed this up now. I think the whole thing end-to-end takes about half an hour. I've got a fairly quick Wi-Fi though, so I recommend a couple of cups of coffee if you're on the slower Wi-Fi. Here, minishift has started, and Go Fabricate start is going to perform the deployment. We can see it's recognized, it's connected to our minishift installation. We're going to use the magic nip.io for our external URL so we can access applications when they're running. And now the script is applying a load of released YAMLs that we released to Maven Central. And this actually provides our platform, our distribution, and deploys it onto minishift or minikube, or even remote OpenShift installations or Kubernetes installation deployments. So we can now, on the other side here, we can look and watch the pods actually being started in the fabric8 namespace. Again, we're just going to speed this up. Now we'll notice once on the left hand side, once the Keycloak pod has been started, we're actually able to get the external URL for Keycloak. Now we want to update our authorization callback URL in our GitHub OAuth application to use this URL now. That means we'll be able to log in and link our GitHub accounts. So on the right hand side, you can see we have a number of init containers. Now these are containers that will actually check that, say for example, a database, Keycloak's database is ready before the Keycloak pod starts. It just helps us avoid any failing pods initially. Once everything is started nicely, once the pod's readiness checks pass, then any pod that's depending on that service will then be able to start itself. We can see now that here's the init containers. We have the Keycloak pod is waiting to start. The init tenant pod is waiting for the Keycloak pod. Once that's initialized and running, we can see the rest of the pods continuing to start. Okay, let's speed this up again. As a user, you won't probably be watching this. You'll just be waiting patiently for the console to start, as it does once all the services are available. This is the URL here, and we're now able to log in. So for now, this is a little bit misleading. We're not actually going to use the username and password fields on the left-hand side. Instead, because we're deployed to minishift, we're going to click the OpenShift button. So now we can log in using our minishift developer credentials, add in some profile information, and we're now able to link our GitHub account. Now the OAuth application that we created before was this fabric8 temp. That corresponds to our client here that we've created. So let's go ahead and authorize. Add in the password, confirm. We now have our GitHub account linked to fabric8. Okay, so we can get started now. This is our new look developer UI for fabric8. We can see our profile information has been linked at the top there. Now under the scenes, because we've just logged in, we have a service called the init tenant service. Now what this is actually going to do is set up the environments for our user. It's also going to set up some tenant namespaces. So here we can see we've got a run and a stage environment. We've also got our Che and Jenkins namespaces. So if we look in these, we can actually watch the Jenkins and the content repository actually being started in these namespaces. Again, for the demo purposes, let's speed this up quickly. Okay, things are running. So from our UI, this is the new this is the create space. Once we're in a create space, we can actually create a new project, either importing an existing one from GitHub or generate a new one using the application wizard. Selecting the default vertex quick start, we can give it a unique name. You can see I've created a few of these before. Next to the next step, where we can select our pipeline, our release stage approve and promote pipeline, and then click finish. This is going to create us our repository in my GitHub account, push the code there. It also creates the job in Jenkins and configures Jenkins up so that we can now, and our pipeline is started. This is our source code that's been committed to GitHub by the project wizard. And we can see now we have some pipelines running. This is our project. We can link over to Jenkins from here. Just accept, because we're running locally, we have to accept the self-signed cert from minishift. Logging in with our minishift credentials again, developer. And here we can see this is our project that's been created. Our job in Jenkins has been created that's running our pipeline. Now, the first time this runs, it actually pulls another image, Docker image. This is our build pod, so it may take a little while. So speeding this up, we can see the pipeline is running and it's building the release. It's generating the manifest that we then use to roll out and deploy to our stage environment. Once we approve the release and promote, then we roll out to the run environment. So this was just a quick overview of the new fabric8 4 features and how to get started running locally using minishift. Please give it a go and let us know how you get on.